Okay, let's talk about what all the stats are in League. It should be a fairly quick video, it's fairly simple. So we'll start with attack damage. That's in the name. When you attack someone, you deal your attack damage to them. That's also known as physical damage. So there's two types of damage, physical and magic damage, and ability power, our next stat, is essentially magic damage. So that will scale some of your abilities depending on your champion. On Yasuo, my E has a 60%, so 60% of whatever number I have in the bottom left. So if I buy Amplifying Tome, that goes up to 29. I probably have a rune or something that increases it a little more. This only gives 20. As you can see, it goes up to 29. And it scales a little extra. 87, if I sell that, it now does 71, right? Obviously that also scales off my attack damage, my physical damage, but it only deals magic damage. Some abilities in League scale off both types, but only deal one type of damage. The next stat we'll go on to is Armour. Essentially, that just reduces the damage taken by physical damage. There's a bit of a complicated math behind that. I've got a quick 5-minute video that explains it in a lot of detail. It'll be linked at the end of this video. Same goes for magic resist, but obviously resisting magic damage by an amount. These go hand in hand with lethality and armor penetration, and magic penetration and percentage magic penetration. Yep, cool, you get it. Again, it's in the same video. Attack speed. Attack speed's quite obvious. It increases how fast you attack enemies. If I buy a bunch of daggers, these increase attack speeds by 10% each, but you'll see it's not actually gone up 60%. That's because different champions have different amounts of attack speed growth. It's a thing, it's weird, I don't understand it, so I'm not going to bother trying to explain it. Long story short, you get daggers, you attack faster. That's pretty much all you need to know. Another thing that's helpful to know is there are some abilities in this game, such as Yasuo's Q, Zeri's Q, Yon's Q. They're actually considered as attacks. So before I continue on that thought, our next stat is ability haste. I'll sell all these daggers for a second, but you can see, let's look at my ultimate last breath. That has a 70-second cooldown. If I buy a bunch of glowing motes, that gives me 30 ability haste, which reduces my cooldowns by 23%. I don't understand the math, but you can always hover over it and it'll tell you how much your stuff is getting reduced. You can see it's 53.85 seconds now. But my Steel Tempest, look at that number. It's 3.36 seconds. I sell all of these. It is still 3.36 seconds. That is when we go back to our thought from before. Some abilities are considered as attacks. If you want to read it, sure, it doesn't matter, you don't have to read it, just take my word for it. You can see it's a much faster cooldown now because I've built attack speed items. If it's not obvious, my Q is considered as an attack. As you can see, Lethal Tempo, this is a rune that stacks based off the amount of attacks you've done in the last few seconds. It also stacks off my Q. Critical Strike Chance, so it just says grants a chance to deal extra 75% damage on each attack. That's not true for Yasuo, because his passive means he gets more crit chance from crit stats, but deals less crit damage. You don't need to know about that. Essentially, crit chance is more damage, a percentage chance to do more damage. I have 60% because Yasuo doubles his crit stat, right? And so, if you pay attention, see those crit effects? And my Q can crit too, because it's considered as an attack. So the 122, that was a crit, that was a crit, that was a crit. Hello? Normal damage, okay. You can see the different, yeah, like the numbers bouncing off the dude. Let's move on. Movement speed, this one's pretty obvious. It just decides how fast you move. Let's just get any old boots. I'm moving faster, you can see it. Health and resource regeneration. So obviously some champions have mana or energy, and their bottom bar underneath their health will regenerate. Obviously I'm not doing that because my passive, I don't have mana. Okay, long story short, I don't have mana. It's also showing I have 10 health regeneration every 5 seconds. If you hover over your actual health bar, it says 2. Because that's in 1 second. Heal and shield power, that's in the title, just a percentage increase to the effectiveness of health and shields. I don't play champs that use that, I don't know any more details about that. Lethality and armor penetration. Lethality is a flat amount of armor ignored by attacks. Armor penetration is a percentage of armor ignored by attacks. Same goes for magic penetration and percentage magic penetration. Lifesteal and Omnivamp. These are very similar. Lifesteal, so again, my Q is considered as an attack, and so is my attack, obviously, my auto attack. I right click someone, start attacking them. So Lifesteal returns a portion of damage you deal with attacks as health, but Omnivamp just returns a portion of damage you deal. So Lifesteal is only attacks, and Omnivamp is only damage, which is everything, obviously. So yeah, if you're an attacker like Yasuo, obviously I have my Q and my actual attacks, you'd want to build Lifesteal. No reason not to build Omnivamp, other than maybe the items are less powerful. But then if you're like a mage or something and you want heal for some reason, you'd want to build Omnivamp. Lifesteal is going to be useless because you're not attacking. Attack range, this whole time I've been holding C, you can see my attack range. That's 175 units, that's what it says there. And the last one, Tenacity, that just reduces the duration of slows, stuns, taunts, fears, silences, blinds, sleep, polymorphs, and immobilizes. But not airbornes and not suppressions, okay? There's an interesting distinction. So Yasuo has an airborne. My Q3 is ready. I'll throw it at him. No amount of tenacity is going to block that stun duration. It's just a different type of stun. And the last stat... Wait, that's it.